We found out yesterday that the Eagles will play the Packers in Brazil.
Yes.
Mo Hurst spilt the beans. The beans were the incorrect beans, and it did not turn out to be the Browns versus Philadelphia in Week 1. So I asked you guys instead. We know it's not the Eagles in Brazil. So what's your ideal Week 1 matchup for the Browns? And Tyvis, we'll start with you.
Oh, I said the Chargers. The reason I picked the Chargers is because in Cleveland, first of all, it got to be in Cleveland.
Yeah.
One, because I think that it's a lot of guys that's working back from injury, and the Chargers got a new head coach, and he's trying to establish his culture, how he wants to play. So I think the Browns is a nice tune-up game for them to get into the season, hit their groove against a team that has really good talent. It's not like if you beat the Chargers, people are going to say, oh, you beat the Chargers, who cares about that? No, that's a very talented team, and if Jim Harbaugh gets them right where they need to be, that's a team that can do well in the playoffs. So I picked the Chargers for Week 1. I think that's this game that a lot of people will come to see, a lot of hype around it, and it's a great competition for guys to get back into the things, and if you make plays against them, it won't be looked at as fluke.
Any concern that teams from the great state of Ohio have struggled to beat said head coach in recent years?
What do you got? What do you get there? Why would you do that? All I'm going to tell you is it's a different league.
It is a different league.
Very true.
It's a different league in college.
Chargers were actually on my list. And
me too.
I told Mike, like, if we need variety, I could easily argue the Chargers for a lot of what you said. New head coach coming back. First game. The first game is the most, like, variance, right? Like, weird things can happen in Week 1 in the NFL. That's why, give me the Giants. They suck. The Giants in Week 1 at home. You can make a case for, like, the Commanders on the road. They're not very good. Like, you get a road game out of the way early, against a bad team. And plus, also with the Chargers, maybe you want to catch them in Week 1 before Harbaugh sort of gets his footing about being back in the NFL again. But you always want to start 1-0. It's something the Browns will struggle to do, and the Giants blow.
What's wrong?
So give me the Giants in Week 1.
You do know they got arguably one of the best defensive lines now, right?
Give me the Giants in Week 1 and a 1-0 start.
Who's their quarterback?
Who is their running back? McNugget?
Devin Singletary.
Oh, yeah, that's who it is.
They suck. He's right. They suck.
He's a guy. He's a guy.
When I went through the list yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's easy, the Giants. You can make a case for the Chargers, and I'm sure Bull will give you a good answer.
Please, Bull, tell me you went towards my way.
Meaning what?
You went more competitive.
I did.
Thank you.
In fact, I picked the opponent. Don't put it up yet. The opponent I picked is better than both of these teams. See,
you're wrong.
See, here's the thing. We're probably all wrong, by the way, because they'll probably end up playing the Bengals, the Ravens, or the Steelers Week 1. But
yeah, that's true.
No, we're not predicting. This is our idea.
No, I know. So. But here's the thing. And Jay lives in Browns fear. And he always wants to play the worst team.
You said the Chiefs, didn't you?
No, I did not say the Chiefs, although I considered the Chiefs.
I thought about it, too, to be honest with you.
But I like, Jason brought up the point, that the Week 1 is wacky.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you play a team you think is going to be bad and ultimately will be bad Week 1, sometimes, you see it all the time. A team that you think sucks plays great in Week 1, wins, and then they lose 12 of the next 13.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
And so
if they lose to the Giants in Week 1,
I don't worry about how good the team is. Like, I don't worry about playing a bad team Week 1 because I think a bad team can bite you in Week 1.
Okay, wait.
So I'm like, I want to play a good team. Now, I didn't want to pick the Chiefs because they're the best team. But
they could come off with a Super Bowl hangover. You could have got them out the way.
I want to play a very good team. A team that if you beat them, you're gonna get talked about a ton. Right off Week 1.
Chargers.
The Chargers maybe. This team you're getting way more talk. Show them, Mike. The Dallas Cowboys. That's all that anybody ever talks about on ESPN. They only talk about the Cowboys.
That's true too.
So and now on that Monday on all the shows on ESPN, if the Browns win,
it's going to be what's wrong with the Cowboys.
Dak is no good.
Yeah.
Fire Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
But still.
That's a good pick. I thought about that.
I think that's an exciting Week 1 game.
Mine was between the Chargers, Chiefs, and Cowboys, actually.
That's a home game, too. Browns have, on paper, a brutal schedule.
Really
now, so does everybody else in the North, pretty much. But
So typically, Bull, I tend to agree with you that I want to get a hard game off the way early, especially at home. But with the uncertainty of Deshaun coming back from the shoulder injury, with Nick Chubb, he might not be ready. I want to push those harder teams back towards the end of the season when I know Nick Chubb will be back as close to 100% as he could be.
Do we know that?
Well, I'm
Maybe
just
by
hoping
then those guys are hurt again. Who
Wait a
knows?
minute.
Maybe, but
You-
that's my head thinking. I also consider the Chiefs because they might be without Rasheed Rice in the first 2 weeks of the season, first couple of weeks.
That's
so,
the game changer for you?
No, I'm just
All
walking
right.
through my thought process. And I also like starting at home. But then I came to this conclusion because I agree with Tyvis. New head coach, you don't know what you're going to get. With Jason, potentially a new quarterback, you don't know what you're going to get. And I think if you're going to have to send your team to a city with as many distractions as what I'm about to put on the screen, I want to do it as early in the season
Oh,
when
I
guys
know
are
where
as
you're
locked
going.
in, focused as possible. So let me head to the Vegas and play in the new Las Vegas Raiders Dome. Get that out of the way early. You can't get distracted in week 1. You're locked in. It's a bad team, a new head coach, a potential new quarterback, or Gardner Minshew.
That's a dangerous
I agree
game.
with the idea to start 1-0. You
Yeah.
better be able to beat the Raiders. And I think that's the best of both case
That's
scenarios.
Although the Browns struggled against Gardner Minshew last year. They won the game.
That's
but
a
he killed
danger.
them.
That's a dangerous game. You play that right there. What you just put up. That's one of the ones that I can see them losing week 1 in Vegas.
I don't
Because
think the Raiders are going to be terrible.
first of all, they play for that coach, Antonio Pierce.
I agree with
They
that.
play for him. First of all,
They did no, but
Second
they did
of
that
all,
coming
they-
off the interim status though, Tyvis.
I
We still
just
got to
think
see what
Still,
happens at the full
when you got a player saying that they leave if y'all don't hire a coach,
Not just a player, your best
your
player.
best player.
Yeah.
Then you go. Didn't they get Christian Wilkins as well?
They did.
Okay, so the D line is extremely better.
Yeah. And Gardner Minshew, while he's not great, is
He
way
stood-
better than what
he,
they had.
He hit the shoulders on us like
He
3
killed the
times.
Browns
So what
last
are you
year.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game. I don't know about that.
That is not ideal dream because I need to go to Vegas in December when it's cold, not when it's warm
We
in
need
September.
to take a UCSS trip to Vegas.
Vegas?
Come on, Steve.
I've never been.
Steve, get on that, buddy.
You've never been to Vegas?
I haven't either.
Everything that
You've never been to
everything
Vegas?
that goes on in Vegas,
Believe it or not.
I don't do.
When I wasn't,
There's some good shows there.
what
kind of
everybody
show?
says. Nobody gives a rat's ass
No,
about the
there
show.
are. There's all kinds of good
Here's
shows.
why I never went to Vegas. When I was gambling, I couldn't afford it. When I could afford it, I stopped gambling. So, yeah, there you go.
I love
all right,
Vegas.
there it
I
is,
love
Mike.
Vegas too
Yeah,
much.
let's talk